So, good morning everybody, and a very warm welcome to Mildenhall and Vollmer. And it's been a very, very long time since you've seen my face and my layout. So today I'm going to call this general knowledge. And basically it's literally, it will cover a lot. It will cover all sorts because it's been a very, very long time since I've posted anything up of any kind of description. In fact, I think it's about 2.5 months since my last video. Now, many of you will know the main reason for it. It's not a particularly big secret, but obviously I've had trouble with the local natives here as per regards to the layout. And that has consequently impacted the layout a great deal. And basically, I think we've got to a point where it is resolved, but the damage has already been done in terms of the layout. And as you could probably see from where I'm sitting, the layout has actually got smaller, because on this side, as you can see, is the window, and this is where Mildenhall Gardens used to be. So that's the first thing. Mildenhall Gardens is no more, and it's not likely to come back either. It's basically currently residing in my bedroom, whilst I've been scavenging bits and pieces off of it to do with the main layout. So the main layout still exists, and I'll show you what the plans is, and I'll talk to you about what the plans are. But what I wanted to quickly do first, and don't go away, I'm just going to put you on hold because my other phone is actually on, it's not actually on silent, so just to make sure I don't get interrupted, so I'll be back shortly. Right, so I'm back. So before we really kind of get into the kind of nitty gritty of things, about what I wanted to talk to you about, I just want to say the most important thing first, and that is I'd like to thank every single one of you personally for just, I've had so many personal messages from people, and I've had messages from people I generally chat to away from the railway scene, who have then contacted me and said, oh, so and so's been asking about you, and so said if I speak to you to say, to say hello. And so I just wanted to say to everybody, I appreciate all your well wishes, and thank you so much for your concern. It's been so much appreciated, and I can't thank you enough, because it's like, it has been tough for me. And the reality is, for the last few months, I've lost complete interest in the railway. And to be honest, like I've said before, I was going to take it down. And I think I've said this before, it was actually going to make more disruption taking it down than actually leaving it up. And that's pretty much the main reason why it's still up. But also the fact is, I know it's probably going to bite me at some point, and I'm going to want to get back into it. So something is better than nothing, but it's definitely a lot smaller than what it used to be. But there are some additional plans for it, which I'll, like I said, go through with you. So I'd like to thank each and every one of you for just sticking with me, basically. And because of that, during the course of my shutdown, as it were, I've actually reached a milestone on my YouTube channel. And I've managed to reach 2,000 subscribers. And so again, once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for subscribing. And I'm really, really pleased to have that amount of support. And I guess it just goes to show that, despite all the aggro and issues that I've had, it is still worth doing the railway, because there's many more people that appreciate what I do than who don't appreciate what I do. So thank you so much. So I'm really pleased to have reached 2,000 subscribers. Now I've got my book here because I have a habit of coming on these videos and sort of saying what I have to say, and then once I've switched it off, I've gone, oh, I forgot to say this, that, and the other. So I've kind of got a bit of a cheat sheet here, little book here. The other thing, and the main reason why I'm back on the screen really, is I'm just going to show you something. And as you can see, I now have carpet. And that was the kind of main sort of issues in terms of what I was having with the natives. So we now have carpet, so hooray! So hopefully that's caused me a lot of aggro, that has. But hopefully we've now drawn a line under it, and I'm going to carry on with the railway, and hopefully I'll slowly but surely get back into it. Like I said, I'd like to apologise to everybody because I really haven't been watching that much YouTube in terms of the railway related side. There are certain people, I guess, that I just have kept me going through it all, and I'll talk to you about that because that's going to come to the shout outs in a jiffy. Moving forward, there probably will be less videos coming up from me as a general rule, because I've actually quite enjoyed being away from YouTube in terms of not having, I wouldn't say pressure, but I always felt the need that I should get on with things and, you know, post everything that I get up to and just get on at a certain speed. But I guess since the shutdown, I kind of learnt that actually I'm just going to just take it easy and just sort of just get on with it as and when really. So layout updates are probably going to be more like a monthly thing rather than I was doing them on a weekly thing and sometimes twice weekly. So I think from that point of view, the frequency will drop down. But maybe when I get back into it, we'll just go back to normal and dive head first into it, and you know. But like I said, now I wanted to give a number of shout outs to people, and there's 4 in particular. And the first one is basically my family, and so that covers more than 4 people, but just my family in general. My family have been immense through this, and they know how difficult it's been. And they've helped me no end with sorting out the carpet. They've helped me with advice as to what to do and what not to do. And it's just absolutely brilliant. So my family have been absolutely fantastic. So I can't thank them highly enough for all the support that they've given me. The other person I wanted to thank, there's another 3 more, by the way, and it's all for various different reasons, but I just want to thank Alan over at Dragon Junction as well. And like I said, these shout outs are not for any, not in any particular order in terms of, who I favour and who I don't. It's just, these are people that have particularly have gone the extra mile in my view to sort of, really help me along the way. Now, Alan over at Dragon Junction, he gives me a giggle. He always does, because whenever you watch him, it's always the same. He's just laughing away and giggling constantly, and that kind of invokes and passes that on to me, and it's just giving me a constant smile whenever he's doing it because it just makes me laugh. And also, not to mention the fact that he's done so much for me. He's like such a good friend. He's, like I said before, many occasions, he's given me so much stuff and sent me so much stuff, and he phones me, and we have a good conversation, and he's actually top bloke. I love him to bits, and his layout, well, it's just fantastic too, and he's really sort of pushed himself to sort of improve himself, so he wants to make it better, and and he's just a great bloke, and he just gives me a good old laugh. So I'm really sort of thankful to him. And he's, like I said, he's one of the many people that have contacted me, but I speak to him quite regularly, and he's always checking up on me, seeing how I'm doing, and I'm checking up on him. So I also wanted to thank Gary over at Cheeky Tech. And Gary, he's just one of my long standing friends that we've been friends for a long time. We talk about all kinds of stuff, and he's been there for me, listening to me and giving me advice, and he's just an absolute charming fellow. I just love him to bits. He's just, and again, he gives me a giggle as well, and I chat to him regularly as well, and I love his layout as well. It's kind of more or less what I've done in the past and what I still kind of do. And he's also local to me, so I go and see him, and he comes here as well. So a massive shout out to him as well. One of the last shout out that I wanted to say, I think I've covered. I just want to check to make sure I've covered everything that I wanted to cover so far. And the last shout out, and I'm just going to put this over here for the moment. Oopsie. It doesn't go to this box, but it's related to this box. And I want to show you what I have in this box, and then sort of get onto it. So those of you may remember this that I made, and this is my original Behringer station, which I still own. And so my last shout out has to go to Tony Northeastern. And Tony is a true inspiration to many, including myself. And his videos are just totally inspiring, and he's been keeping me going, because I just kind of look at his videos and I just think, wow, the way he just creates things. And he's created his own station over at South Seals, and the way he goes about finding out the information is just incredible, and the detail that he puts into it is incredible as well, and his ingenuity to create things to put into his buildings is totally incredible, and it's superb. And it kind of got me thinking about Behringer Station and all his work, because he's created his building, and he's just put so much that I kind of feel like this building is going to end up going back on the layout and rebranded as Mildenhall. I'm not entirely certain how this is going to work, but the thing being is that Tony has done a lot of stuff, like he details all of his buildings inside, even though you might not see it. And it kind of puts me to shame a little bit, because I built this building and I've just taken the top off one of it. And I'll take in fact I can't take, well I can take that off, but you won't be able to see it, but let's just put that there. So this has got lighting in it. There is a limited amount of detail in it, but nothing like what Tony's done on his building. As you can see, that was just kind of like the entrance where the cars could go through, vans could go through. That is actually the main entrance to the building. As you can see here, there is some detailing where I've put some walls in, but it's very limited. There's no people or anything. And this is stuff that I can do. And I've actually, like I said, I have put some lights into it. And LEDs. Now, last time I tested it, it still worked. And basically it was one of these, where is it now? Here it is. It's one of these little plug and play things. Hopefully it all still works. And as you can see, it is actually lit up from inside. And I've also done this as well, but again, it's limited detailing. There isn't a huge amount of detail here. So I'm gonna try and do some more detailing as per Tony Northeastern, but I've got to work out how I'm going to get it onto the platform. Now I'm thinking that I've got this bit here, that this can probably sit on top of a platform. I haven't really measured the Hornby platform, but I think it could possibly work. So there is talk that I'm thinking that I am going to probably put this back onto the layout. And also, it goes very well with the back scene that I have going on at Mildenhall station itself. And this is one thing that I just didn't really want to get rid of. I made a lot of effort to building it, so let me just put this all back. I think it goes that way, to be honest. Yeah, it does. So that was, and that is the station of the old Beringer station. And I think it will go so nicely. I've been thinking about it because I've been watching his videos. It's so inspirational that I just, you know, you kind of get drawn into it. And so I was kind of half watching it and watching his videos, and I've got one eye watching his video and I've got the other eye thinking to myself, actually, with the back scene I've got going on over at Mildenhall there, I think this will go so well and be so well in keeping with what I've got going on over there. So I'm going to show you now, I'm going to turn you around to take to the layout and show you what's sort of happening. And before I do that, in fact, I'm going to show you what else. Now, people may turn around and say it's a shame that Bourdillon Gardens is no more. And I have salvaged a lot of what I've done there, and I'm hoping to maybe still use some of it. One of the things that I want to use is this. Is my little town scene that I created. Now, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to incorporate it into the layout, but I'm thinking that it's probably going to go on an upper layer, and I might have to sort of butcher this a little bit, slightly, to fit it in. I haven't worked it out, but I just feel it's such a shame, and I just think it's like something is better than nothing. So if I have to kind of butcher it to fit it in a bit, then I'd rather, I just want to keep the essence of Bourdillon Gardens because that was a part of this layout. And it's a shame. The reason for getting rid of it is purely because it's a space thing. It was getting to a point where it was just, I put it up and it was just bigger than I really kind of expected. And I was always having issues with the tight turns around here, and also I need accessibility to move the main layout. I'll show you why shortly. So here is the main layout. So as you can see, the main layout is still here, but it has changed. It has changed. It might not look it, but it has changed. So back to the accessibility issue. I have two hatches. As you can see, one just on there on the ceiling, and there's another one just there on this side of the ceiling. I had the gas man come over the other day, and he wants to do an inspection, and he said to me that next time he comes he'd like to have a look at these hatches and poke his head through. So this means that the layout will have to be moved, which I already knew, which is why I put it on wheels in the first place. But the thing that I've had with Bourdillon Gardens is that you see those two holes, it was bolted to those two holes, and it went all the way along here, but it went right up to the end of the wall there. So it's just going to mean that I'm going to have to constantly drag this out and put it into the other room or whatever. So I'm just trying to minimise my hassle, really. So what I decided to do is, because it encroached the room so much, the living space too much, I just felt that it's better to just have this layout as it is, the main layout. And so what's going to happen is, I'll take you down this, because this is kind of where, so the two lines used to go off to Bourdillon Gardens that way. Now what I'm proposing is there's a slight kink on that curve on the end there, and that's going to basically attach to this bit that's on the windowsill, which has got a load of stuff still on it. And I'm going to put a load of sidings on there. And originally I did mention that I was going to do Mildenhall Train Care Depot, and that's what's going to end up going there. I'm just going to put 2 or 3 storage lines, however many I can get, and basically do that. And basically that's going to be for my EMUs, my South West Trains EMUs that I've got, that's still in their box. Also what's changed is I've added another line. I've managed to squeeze in another line. Now none of this is working, I should just reiterate, because I haven't tested it. I literally only did this yesterday. and I haven't really tested it or done the wiring for it or anything like that. So I just need to test to see if it all works. But I've got my Javelin and I've got my HST, and those are my two longest trains, which is why these two lines go all the way to the very end. I'm hoping to store them both on here. Also, it's just to minimise me having to keep taking them on and off the layout. It just becomes a bit of a pain, to be honest. And so that's why I kind of wanted to kind of leave them on the layout. We've still got 5 platforms, although, so the one on the end, which is platform 5, the one closest to the warehouses, that used to go straight off to Bordelon Gardens, but obviously now it's like a dead end because it will just go back to the train care depot. So I've had to rework the point work, so now that feeds into the main line this way. It also kind of still goes back. We still kind of kept this junction here, and as you can see, there's the 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it has been a bit tight to squeeze them in, but I felt like I needed to squeeze it in just to try and get some more space. And that's pretty much the main change of the layout. And I've just got to reconnect this point work to the line on platform 4, which is also going to be a dead end. So there's going to be 2 terminal platforms, which is 4 and 5, and 2 and 3 are going to be through platforms, and platform 1 is the short EMU platform, which is where the EMU is currently sitting. So that's sort of the plan really for the layout. Now it's going to kind of be like this, and I'm just going to watch it. So it's going to be a bit of a train set layout really, to be honest. But like I said, I kind of call it a train set plus because it isn't really a train set layout, but it is kind of to a degree in terms of its shape. But like I said, I'm going to keep this all. We're still going to keep this bit. There was talk of downsizing it all and maybe moving this layout to the other side, but I think it's going to stay as it is. So the station building, the old Beringer station building, as you can see, ties in really well. I don't know if I can do this. Oh, there we go. Sorry that I'm on the old camera again. Oh, it's just... There we go. Right, okay. So, you know what I'm getting at. So my Beringer station ties in beautifully with that back scene there and that building there. So what I'm proposing is what I do have to work with. Let's see if I can zoom this out. Yes, I can. So what I'm proposing is basically the area I do have to work with is height. So I don't have width and I don't have length anymore. I've kind of maximised it on this particular layout. But I do have height working for me. So whether or not I do I put like I did before with Beringer, maybe put it on top and then do some stairs coming down. That could be a possibility. Whether I try and slot it on top of the platforms and like on the same level as these current station buildings, maybe I'll do that. I'm not sure. So I'm not really too sure how that's going to work. As far as the town scene is concerned, it's going to go either in this corner on top, or it's going to go on the far corner where the warehouse is and the digger is right down the very end here on this section, because I'm very happy with that corner and I'm happy with this corner. So it could maybe even be possible that maybe I might even move that building slightly, but I built it kind of for that corner, so we'll see how that goes. So hello again. So that kind of concludes my video for today. I don't know when you'll next see a video. Like I said, I don't think they're going to be as frequent. as I have done in the past. But hopefully I'll have some trains running soon. I don't know if it'll be today. I don't know. It really depends. Because in some ways, for all this hassle that I've had, there has been quite a few positives that have come out of it, in terms of the fact that I've now got a carpet and it's much more comfortable and it looks more like a home. But also, it also opened the door to my other hobby, which is aircraft and flight. And I've always been an avid fan of aeroplanes and transport in general. And so I've been doing a lot of flight simming, because I used to do a lot of flight simming when I was younger. And so it's kind of opened that kind of side of things. So I'm kind of combining my two hobbies really. And so the kind of railway isn't the be all and end all of it, but I still need it and still enjoy it. And I enjoy my interaction with you guys. So like I said, I don't know when the next video is going to be, but it probably won't be as frequent as they used to be. And the other thing is I'm still not back at work yet. I was expected to have gone back ages ago, and in fact, since the last time, my furlough runs out today, and the 31st. I think today's the 31st, so I have to stay up tomorrow, I think. Anyway, and it doesn't look like I'm going back next week either. So I don't know what the plan is with that. So again, as is with many people, you have to be careful with the pennies and everything like that. And I've cancelled my orders that I do have with various companies in terms of the railway, purely because A, it's finances, and B, the railway's definitely taken a back seat in terms of it's not the be all and end all for me, I guess, as it was before. I guess I was a bit obsessive before to a point, but I kind of like the idea of just sitting here and watching them go round and round. I guess that's kind of the thing, and actually building it. Like I said, there's still ideas floating around, as you've heard, so we'll see how we get on with that. Anyway, until the next time, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your subscriptions, and like I said, thank you for getting me up to 2,000 subscribers. It's so much appreciated. So until the next time, it's goodbye from Mildenhall and Vollmer. Bye bye.